Welcome back to episode 6 of our podcast. We do have a different name. It is Real, Raw, and Random because that's what we do here, and it just kind of rolls off the tongue a lot easier. So Real, Raw, and Random, episode 6. I'm Susan. This is Taco.
I'm Millie.
And I'm Jordan.
Dude, I keep forgetting that you're introducing Taco. I keep forgetting Taco's here.
I mean,
you're so cute.
He's chilling. Right now, he's kind of tired waiting for Sammy to get home, but yeah.
How was your guys' day today?
It was pretty good.
What'd you do?
I went out for a while. This was the first time in a long time that I've ever been able to get up early on a Saturday. So, because I got up at 6, I tried this face mask that I just bought because my skin is breaking out. And so hopefully that helps. So I got that. I tried that this morning. Woke up I already woke up. Sorry. I got breakfast for my mom and I. And then I just went to the mall. I got this shirt today.
I like it. I like the colors
too.
on that.
This is like my favorite shirt. I've been looking for this shirt forever because I see it all the time, and they never have my size. And
Who had that?
JCPenney.
Oh, you did say that.
So yeah, they never have my size. They always have a large or an extra large, and I tried the extra large on, and it's too small. So finally they only had my size in stock today, and I was like, okay. I went out with the intention to buy something. I wanted to buy myself something to make me feel good, and that happened.
Nice.
What about y'all? What happened
That's
today
how
for
I
you
make
guys?
myself look good by buying clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I like shop. I love clothes.
I needed it.
But like lately, when I go into stores, like I just can't find. It's not that I can't find stuff. It's that I like look and I'm like, I have it. In saying that, I'm blessed because obviously I have 3-4 closets full of clothes, like full of clothes. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I haven't really found much that I like walk in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. Because I'm very like, I don't know how you are. Like you said you were looking for the shirt specifically, right?
Yeah, because I see it. I've seen it all the time, like for a while now. I'm surprised they still carry the shirt because I see it all the time. And obviously I love Spider-Man. So I'm like, shit, this shirt is cool. And I could wear it to work if I wanted to. So I could wear some red.
So are you the kind of person that like you walk into a store and you know exactly what you're looking for, or are you kind of wandering, seeing if you can find something you like?
Today I was just wandering, but usually I know what I'm looking for. Like usually if I'm going to a store, like the other day, I went to the mall like a couple weekends ago, and I was looking for specifically green pants because a pair of camo pants of mine, I couldn't find them at the time. I was going through reorganizing my closet and shit. So I was like, I just want some green pants to wear on the podcast. It was whenever I first wore those green pants.
With that black shirt?
I keep buying shit just to wear here so I could like have an excuse to buy stuff.
Amen.
Any reason to shop.
Yeah, because I have not been buying new clothes this much in a long time. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it was some retail therapy today.
That's good. What'd you do today, Susan?
What did I do today? I didn't do a whole lot. No, I did. I was doing some editing, which I haven't done in a minute, like actual, like real sitting down editing. Like I'll do stuff on my phone and stuff, but to me that's, it's not the same. And so, I did some editing. I talked to my cousin. I talked to some friends, just kind of fucked around today, honestly. And then we went to the gym, getting to see some really, really cool gains, some PRs, some, that's why we take all the pictures and videos we do, because like I tell the girls, I'm like, you don't always know how much your body is changing until you see those side by sides and you're like, holy shit. So I like got to see some muscles in my back that I was like, I haven't seen those in a minute. So yeah, did that, then came back and planning for my Disney trip with 2 of my really good friends, 2 of my best friends. We're gonna be going not this next week, but the week after. And so she got, I guess, her Disney bracelets, and I don't know. They're trying to come up with like some t-shirts and shit that we're supposed to wear. And so apparently my t-shirt is gonna say most likely to get locked in Disney jail, which probably fitting. I mean, I don't know. Because I have plans for what I'm going to do at Disney, but I'll talk to you guys about that once I'm back. Because I got plans, I got goals. What about you, Millie? How was your day?
I went to work today. A cool little 11 to 3 shift. It was actually a really good day at work today. And then we went to the gym. Then we went to bed. I'm sorry, guys. The story of us going to Panda. Wow, it's just crazy to me how much hate someone can hold on to, and how much it just lets them affect them.
Sheesh.
It's honestly embarrassing the way
It was
people
good
act
food.
sometimes.
Yeah, it was good food. But yeah, then we came back here, and so now we're here. I mean, I think going into talking about the gym,
Hmm.
which I mean, obviously, and people who follow me know, like, that's a big part of my life. And so I have people who are like, "Is that all you do? Is just go to the gym?" And I'm like, "No, but it's a priority. It
Mm-hmm.
is something that I mean, I do. You guys know I do a lot. I'm always doing something. I don't broadcast that to everybody, but the gym is something that I like to put out there because it's important. It's valuable. And I think that for a while I stopped posting. I just kind of, once I had gotten sick and got busy with other things, I stopped posting as much. And I had people that reached out to me and they're like, once they saw me posting again, they're like, "I love watching your post because it motivates me." Like, I had somebody say to me, she was like, "I seriously was sitting on the couch." She's like, "I just sat down with my bowl of mac and cheese." She goes, "And here comes your damn post." She's like, "And I see you in the gym." She's like, and I was like, "Fuck, let me finish my mac and cheese and go to the gym." She's like, "So I got up and I went to the gym." She goes, "I just want to tell you, like, it motivates me." And so for anybody who obviously doesn't enjoy seeing it, scroll on by, like, let it go. But
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that there are people that are gaining something from it. I told you guys it's going to be 3 years here in like a few days since I
Hmm.
started like the whole weight
Which
loss
is
journey.
crazy.
It is crazy. So to know that, like, I've been able to maintain. So for anybody that doesn't know, I lost 130 pounds in less than a year. And have maintained that. Now it's going to be for 3 years here in a couple of days. Which is crazy. It's crazy, crazy. So obviously I think everybody, at some point or another has had some kind of an experience with wanting to lose weight or get more fit. What do you guys think is one of the hardest things about that process?
I would definitely say eating habits because I feel like a lot of people struggle with eating and what to eat. And I feel like with losing weight, like you just eat whatever. And like when I started my gym journey, oh, I did like the gym is the easy part, but people don't realize is eating is what the hard part is
What do I
because
tell you? What's the ratio?
80% of what no, 80% of what you eat and then 20% of what you do in the
Yep.
gym, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like let me tell you, it's been a hard journey, but it's been a good one. But I would say definitely eating and changing your whole eating habits. Eating like you're going from eating anything you want and like anything, it's just like health, like unhealthiness and like junk food to like only focusing on like the good stuff for you, like the healthy part. And it's not that you can't eat that; it's just like you don't, because it's not good for you.
Well, and I mean, I think that what I work with you guys on is making sure you have balance.
Mhm.
So, like, there have been times that we'll stop and we're like, "Okay, we're gonna get an ice cream, or we'll get, whatever, candy." There was a one day that Jalen and I think we went and we bought gummy gummy worms or something like that. And we almost finished the bags aren't huge, but like we were sharing it. And then we both just kind of looked at each other and then we're like, we should probably throw the rest of it away so we don't eat the whole bag. And we were sharing it amongst, like, between the two of us. Typically, like, I was big on candy, so I could have like polished off the whole thing, but like we were like, all right, we're sharing it. Now let's throw it away. And we're good. And so yeah, it is an 80-20 rule. Like I tell you guys all the time. And I think that that was something that you guys have struggled with. Because like at the very beginning, just kind of like backstory, like I've been in the gym for a while now. When I first was going through the weight loss, I wasn't in the gym immediately. I waited a little bit just to let my body kind of figure out, like, this is now how much you're eating. And then I got into the gym probably about 8 months into the journey. Was really, really motivated by what I was seeing like others do. So that's why, like I say, I post. So like my friend Anthony's like huge into fitness. And so when I would see his videos, I was like, that's really cool. Like that's kind of sick that like you can make your body look like that. And I've seen that before, but to know that this was somebody that like I knew, and I was like, that's pretty impressive. And as humble as he is, I mean, because he's like he's a big dude, he's very, very
He's very
fit,
jacked.
but he's super, super humble. And so I was like, okay, it changed kind of my mindset on like the fitness world. And I was always really athletic as a kid. Um, what became difficult for me was because after I had Sammy, I developed PCOS, and then I had like a gluten intolerance. And so I was basically told by doctors, like, if you did not have the surgery, you would not have lost the weight. Like, it was like someone threw a wrench in an engine. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. And so I have heard from some people when they're like, oh, you know, you guys know Ozempic. It's like huge right now, right? And so there's been so much controversy over that. And people are like, you know, because people love to judge. And so they're like, oh, so, you know, you got the surgery. That's the easy way out. And it's like, it's not though. Like, that's hard because now you've created a permanent solution to something. And can you mess it up? 100%. Your stomach can stretch out again to the same size it was before. You can gain weight. The groups that I was in initially to help support with that, I remember there were people that were just like upset because I was consistently losing weight. But when I tell you that I have never in my life followed anything more to a T like I did that plan, like I have never followed anything more. Usually I'm like, whatever, I'll do what I want. And with this, I was like, nope, I'm not messing it up. So if they said you have 2 ounces of this, I measured out 2 ounces and that's what I had. And that's all I had. And so there were people in the group who, like, I think we were 3 weeks after the surgery and this guy's like, oh, it was my birthday. I treated myself with a Route 44 milkshake. And I'm like, shit, that's crazy. And then they were getting upset because he was just like, well, not everyone is as successful as you. And I'm like, but I'm not drinking milkshakes. We were told not to have that. So I'm like eliminating that until my body catches up with itself and figures out what it wants to do. But there was a lot of hate thrown on that. I think one of the things that I and a lot of people who have the surgery struggled with is that whole body dysmorphia, which is why, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically like when you look in the mirror, like you don't see what others see. And so that's why I'm so big on pictures and video, because they don't lie. You know what I mean? Like they tell you exactly what you look like. And so, going through that process, I was just like, okay, this is different. Then I noticed, and I'm curious to hear what your guys' opinion on this is. Then I noticed people who, I didn't ever have anybody who was genuinely mean to me when I was bigger. You guys know this, I've always been the same person, regardless. And I say that always. I didn't have people who were mean to me, but I did have people who started treating me differently when I started to lose the weight. Do you guys feel that that is something that happens intentionally? Is it accidental? What do you guys think about that? Because that's something that has sat with me for a while. And I don't hold on to things because I'm like, whatever, that's a them thing. That's not a me thing. Best example I can give is that there was somebody that I used to work with that, you know, we'd have pleasantries like, hi, how are you? How's your day going? Whatever. But when I would be walking into the building, he would let the door slam shut. Never waited, like held the door open. In my life, I'm used to gentlemen. I raised Sammy to be a gentleman. You hold the door open, you pull the chair out, you do this, you do that. He never, this person never, ever held the door, nothing. And there were days that, like, you guys know how the entrance to the school would get. Like those doors would slam shut, they'd get heavy. Sometimes it wouldn't work. And then when I started losing the weight, I showed up and I think I was down, 60, 70 pounds when I went back. And so, yeah, it wasn't, and I still lost another, from that point, I think I lost another 50, 60 pounds. So I went down even more, but all of a sudden he stops and he's holding the door open. Hi, how are you? How's your morning going? Let me help you with this. What do you guys think about that?
I'll let you go first, Jordan.
I think that's just shows like that person's not insecurities, but like their priorities in other people, like what they care about in other people. For him to not hold the door for you, it's obvious that he just didn't care. Like he's like, oh, whatever, like not even thinking about it. But now that he's more like, that's how a lot of men are. That's the minute you said that, I couldn't help but think of that as like a lot of men are like, they see you and they're like, oh, she looks good. But if they saw you when you were at your heaviest, some of them wouldn't have taken a second look. And it just shows the type of person they are. Like, you're a piece of shit. Like that's really what it is. And then you have people that they go through weight loss surgery, or they go through an extreme point of weight loss, and people are treating them like that, and they focus on the good part. It's like, oh my God, you're finally paying attention to me. Oh my God, I'm getting so much attention. I'm so popular now. And it's good that you were able to not like see that as a compliment, because it wasn't. It
No,
just
it
shows
wasn't
how
a
piece of a
compliment.
shit he is.
It was a show of his character.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I thought was interesting was and I didn't have a lot of this, but there were a couple of people who, oh, you're getting too skinny. And I literally clapped back with, here's my issue. Okay, because you never said a thing to me when I was 270 pounds and probably pre-diabetic, looking sick as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have anything to say to me then, when I was in more danger health-wise then than I am currently. But now because I'm skinny, now it's okay for you to say something. That was another piece that I was like, if you
Don't
can't-
comment at all.
You're right. If you can't say something to me when I'm big, don't say shit to me when I'm skinny.
Exactly.
Just
Amen.
because I'm skinny, does not mean that you have a right to comment on so to me, and I know a lot of times people are like, oh, bigger people get attacked and get picked on and this and that. When you lose a lot of weight, people have comments too.
Oh yeah, because they're jealous.
Yeah, one of my
comments
friends was
regardless, which
just
is
saying
BS.
she had the surgery as well, and she was saying that people were like thinking she had cancer and told her asked her if she had cancer. I'm like, that's such an ignorant statement to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy to me. What do you think about that?
I just think it's just crazy in like the world we live in. Like, I don't know. I like if I see me personally, if I see a bigger person, I'm just gonna open the door for them. Like, I'm gonna open the door for you regardless, because that's just the type of person I am. But it's just crazy to me. Like, it baffles me like how people are. Like, you're just not gonna open the door for them, or like not even open the door, but you're just gonna treat someone different because of how big they are. Like, that's not cool.
Because like Jordan said, though, men are very visual, and that's not to say that like men were mean to me when I was big, because
It's just some men weren't paying attention to you.
No,
and then you
weren't.
lost weight.
And it wasn't just men; it was also women. Though. Women have treated me differently too. Like,
you think you losing weight? You think a lot of women treat you like rudely now because they're like
because you were competition before, now you're competition.
So I don't really have issues with women. I don't. And I think it's because of my personality. I think if I was a bitch, probably I mean, other than the whole Louisiana thing, which we talked about before, where they just hated me because they wanted to hate me. I don't really have issues with women hating on me, not to my face. I mean, maybe they do hate me and they're just not brave enough to say it to my face because they know what that would come with. But yeah, I haven't had that reaction. I've had I guess I find it difficult sometimes when, again, guys, they want to compliment me, and so they think that saying certain things to me is going to get my attention, and I'm like, no. Like, I'm not impressed by what you're saying to me. Like, I'm in the gym. I mean, I guess that's one thing about the weight loss is that I didn't just lose the weight with eating healthy. Like, I'm in the gym. I'm changing my body.
Putting that work in.
Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication. And so to me, I'm like, if you're going to make a comment about me as a person, comment about my dedication. Comment about how hard I'm working. Comment about how you think it's cool that, like, I'm
my bad
breaking shit. Give me a comment that's based on something real other than just like the outside, because it's crazy. You and Jalen and like I said, Sammy too, like, you guys are all kind of on this path where it's fun for me because, obviously, like, my body's changing as well, just in a very different way, because I'm coming back from an injury. And so, like, I'm more focusing on like the athletic side of it, trying to get my body back. How do you feel about because you've been getting comments lately where people are like, you're losing weight, you're looking so good, I can see this, I can see that, and I'm hearing it. Everyone's telling me too, because I obviously post videos and pictures with you guys, and I'm super proud of all of you guys. I think it's freaking amazing, and I've told you guys from the beginning that, like, it would get fun. I was like, before you know it, people are going to start commenting and you're going to start seeing changes in your body. Like, you won't see it right away. You're going to eventually see it, and then you're going to be like, holy crap, I did that. Like, that was me. How do you feel about the comments people are making?
I think it's surreal. I don't know. I just think it's because I never really pictured myself being in this position.
Why is that?
I don't know. Because, like, I've always told myself, I've always wanted to lose weight, which is the crazy part, but I've never done anything to lose weight, And like it was just part of me was like struggle because like I didn't know like how to do it. I didn't know how to get into the gym.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what to do in the gym. I
It
didn't know
can be
how to eat.
intimidating.
It was very
Yeah.
intimidating for me. And so I just let it be. I was like, you know what? I just feel like there's no change for me. And like I doubted myself in so many ways. So when I'm hearing people compliment me and like I'm just like, wow, I'm actually doing something to benefit myself in a healthier way, you know? And like when I hear these comments, it's like I personally don't see it, but like other people do, which is crazy. Like you said, body dysmorphia, like I still see the same Millie, you know? I don't see change. Only when you point it out is when I see it. But it's like crazy to me how other people are starting to notice. And like obviously I wouldn't be in this gym position if it weren't for you, because you've played a major role in this. And like I literally wouldn't be where I am right now if it weren't for you.
But it's a choice you made though, because there's been and I will say that like I am so proud of you guys because you guys have made that decision. I've had other people who've been like, I want to follow what you're doing. I want to do what you're doing. And they start and then they fall off. So like for as much as and I appreciate you saying that, because I know that like for me, I again, like I'll say it over and over again, I have that teacher heart. I love seeing people grow and change and see things that they hadn't seen before. And to see that with you and Jalen and how dedicated you both have been. And I mean, there have been times that like we are dead tired, like
and
tired,
we still
tired.
show up.
And you guys are getting off of work, or like I had a long day at work, or something is going on, or like I'm not feeling well, you're not feeling, like we've all had our turns, and we're all there. And we're all working, and we're
And we
grinding every single day.
We
Yeah. And
push through it
so
every single time.
seeing you guys do that has been so much fun. And so, like that's why I keep telling you guys, you got to give it time. And what do I tell you? Trust the process. Stop doing the I can't wait until I have lost 50 pounds or this or that. I'm telling you guys, trust the process. And I've told them too, because they were trying to focus pretty heavily on the weight at the beginning, how much they weighed. And I was like,
yes,
you can't do that shit. I was like, because we're doing a body recomposition with both of you. I was like, so what's going to happen is that it's going to take longer to see it, but it's going to be more worth it in the end, because all of a sudden, like you're going to be going for a while and you're not going to see any differences, which you guys didn't, even on the scale and even the in-body scan. You guys were like, what the heck is happening? And then I told you guys, I was like, stay with it, trust the process, trust it, and learn to love the process and just love where you're at, because that's what builds that momentum. It's that consistency, because motivation is not always a thing. You're not always motivated to go to the gym. And so I think the fact that you guys have gotten over that hurdle of getting past the, how many calories am I supposed to be eating? I was like, we're not focusing on calories. We're focusing on protein, water, eating whole foods, healthy stuff. I mean, both of them were like so afraid of vegetables, and now like they eat them, and they're, it's like the water intake is so different. They understand their protein. They understand what their bodies are doing. So, I mean, I wish schools did more to genuinely. What did they teach you guys about that in school, in high school?
The basic stuff like the food pyramid.
Which the food pyramid is.
Yeah. Even though the
bullshit.
food pyramid isn't like
It's
true,
not
you shouldn't
fully
be following
accurate,
the food
no.
pyramid. In high school, it was better. I remember that specifically because in high school, you're learning, you have weights class. Like Holland, he was the one that taught us the most out of anybody, I think. Like health class, like, okay, you get some stuff, but Holland took it to the next level in implementing it and what workouts you should be doing for what things. Because I remember before I got to Holland's class, obviously I was in high school, so it's not like I was out of shape or anything. But after being in his class for a semester, you could really see the difference. Yeah, like how much stronger I feel, how much more energy I have, and like just looking in the mirror and being more cut. Holland was a big teacher for that. But besides that, if it wasn't for him, because I think some of the things that he was doing was implementing what he knew as opposed to going by the book. Because he cared about it so much. Like he went to school to be like teaching health stuff, like to be a coach and to be teaching health to students. That's why he knows so much, and he's able to come at it from a different angle, especially like you could look at him and tell if you're listening to this, obviously some of you would know who I'm talking about. It was a coach at our school, real buff dude, like diesel. And if as a guy in high school and you look at him, you're kind of like, I want to look like you.
Right.
And he got us as close as we could, obviously, in high
Which
school.
then probably made you guys a lot more willing to listen to him, because you're like, he's coming from a place, which I think is what ended up working with. And I think you and Jalen would have come along with me anyway. I mean, it's not like I dragged you guys and I was like, come to the
No,
gym
we
with
go
me.
we go everywhere.
Yeah,
with
they
you.
were like, they asked, Millie, and then
Yeah.
and I don't even remember how it happened. I think it's just because, again, I was posting all my gym photos,
Mhm.
and then Millie's like, I think that looks cool. And I was like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then she goes, I should go with you one day. And I was like, you should. And then
Mhm.
Jalen came, and then all of a sudden it was like the three of us. And like, I think that it does change things when it's coming from somebody who's passionate about it and loves it. And like, and I don't have all the answers. I still ask questions all the time,
But
but I
you've been
think
through it.
I've been through it. Like, I know what that process looks like. And I think with Holland, because Sammy loved him, loved
Everyone
Holland.
did, like,
Yeah.
because he knew what he was talking about.
And but he was also somebody that I think sometimes when people are very fit, there's an intimidation factor if you don't know their heart and you don't know where they're at. And the truth is that there are a lot of people who are into fitness. I mean, there's some that are in there too that are full of themselves and they just want to show off, but they're genuinely, more often than not, so happy to teach you what they're doing.
He's happy to teach you and won't judge you. That was the biggest.
Right.
That was the other biggest thing about Holland is he has some kids in his class. Like, obviously, if you're teaching in high school, you got a
get all
bunch of different
kinds of different
kids
kids.
from different walks of life, different backgrounds at home. Like some kids grew up just eating whatever was in the fridge, like
Right.
whatever junk food, the cheapest junk food that they
Whatever
can get.
they can afford.
Some kids' parents taught them how to eat healthy and how to balance between eating some things that, like, every once in a while that maybe you shouldn't eat,
Right.
and treating yourself to some things, and but still sticking to a plan and being healthy and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen him come at it with a sense of like, I'm better than you, or like, damn, you're pretty,
Or like making fun of somebody. Or,
like, never.
yeah.
That's what
Never.
I've liked about Susan too, because she's never like
Mhm.
she's never once came at us like in a perspective like that. She's always motivated us. She's always helped us, and like she's always helping us on our form. She's always telling us to drink more water, eat more protein. She's always been there in a positive way and a supportive way, you know, because that's just who.
I mean,
like, the person she is.
I have called you guys out a couple of times on like when Jalen's like, oh, I don't like that, and I'm like, stop. And then she stops herself now, because I'm like, you can't talk crap about yourself, because if, like, I would never ever walk up to somebody and be like, ew, look at that roll on your stomach. I would never say that to somebody. So why is it okay for you to say it to yourself? And that's always been my thing, that I'm like, and I'm guilty of it too. They've called me on it. I'm guilty of it too, where I'm like, ugh, this or that. Or like, obviously with having lost 130 pounds, like, there's some loose skin I have. And I don't let it freak me out. Like, I know there are, and when I say that, like, it's not even as bad as like some people have it. So I'm not complaining, but I'm like, that's like a war wound. Like, and it can be gone. It's not a big deal to me. But there are times where I'm just like, damn it. Like, if I didn't have that like little bit of extra skin, you could really see my muscle a lot more. Or like, you could see this or you could see that. And then the girls are like, stop, because they're right. And it's the same thing I've said to you guys. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't speak more kindly to others than what you do to yourself, because obviously how you speak to yourself matters. But yeah, I mean, we've had conversations about like where Millie was trying not to eat, and I was like, you're literally sabotaging yourself.
Exactly, because like, oh my, let me tell you, this gym process has been a struggle. Like, people don't realize that it messes with you mentally. Like, it's like a lot, because you have to change your whole eating habits, you know. And like, there's just been days where I've been so hard on myself, but like, what I've learned throughout this gym process is I can't be so hard on myself. I just have to do better next time, you know. Everything is a lesson, and I have to do better next time, you know. I can't always take everything, the feedback that I get so negatively, you know. Like I've talked about that muscle mass on one day, you know. I just needed to intake more protein. I can't take that negative feedback and let it destroy me. Like, no, all you have to do is this and you'll be good. Like, you'll be set. Like, that's one thing I've learned is all the feedback I have to get, I need to take it in a positive way, and I can't be so hard on myself anymore. And I think I've done really good on that. And like, just you know, intaking my protein and intaking water, and you know, it's really good. I feel like getting in the gym has helped me in so many ways. Like, it's just like peaceful to me. It's somewhere where I can just put my headphones on, work out with Jalen and Kamez, even though we all mess around here and there. But it's just like, it's a joy and genuinely an enjoyable experience for me that I have. And I love being there.
And I've told people for a while, I'm like, the gym is one of my favorite parts of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I genuinely look forward to it. Like, I just am like, when am I going to go to the gym? What time am I going to go? So I work around their schedule. And so I'm just like, what time are we going? When are we going to get there? And so, yeah, I mean, I think circling back, it's been an interesting journey to think that 3 years ago, I would have been sitting on this end of it at almost 270 pounds, which is freaking crazy. I did have to gain weight in order to get approved for the surgery, which is also insane. But I would do it all over again. The whole process, I would do it all over again. I think it's been absolutely worth it. And it's taught me so much about myself, my resilience, and just my dedication. Because sometimes, and you guys know, I always talk about, like, I'm a procrastinator, or I do this or I do that. And I like to enjoy life. So I'm always messing around and doing random shit. But when I get serious about stuff, I get serious about it. And I put my whole heart and soul into it. And that's something that I've done with this, because your body is a vessel. And so why would you walk around with a shitty ass vessel? You can have like the best. And one of my favorite things to always say is, I love the gym because 100% of what you put into it, you will get out. That's not a guarantee you can get really anywhere else. Not in relationships, not in your job, not in school, not anywhere else, except for what you put into the gym is what you get out. So I love hearing that that Holland had such a good impact, because like I said, he had a strong impact on Sammy. I know there's a lot of other people who've always talked about him and credited him to, them understanding. There's been a couple of times, Jalen, we've gotten on a machine. She's like, I know how to do this because of Holland. And Holland showed me how to do this.
That's the biggest thing for
that.
me with lifting weights is, though I have good form when I lift weights because of Holland, like, because he taught me how to do it. If I never took weights class and what is it, CrossFit, if I never took those classes with him, because after the first time, I want to say, because I had swim in my freshman year, and then I took weights in my sophomore year, and I just continued to get in more of his classes on purpose, just so I could still have that time to work out. And because it was fun. At first I was just taking it because you know how when you're signing up for your electives in high school,
like, that sounds
and
good.
y'all are all sitting around and you're like, oh shit, which one are you gonna do? Do weights one. And a bunch of us got into weights one, and at first it was just cool about that. Like, I'm just excited to see all of my people in the class. Then it gets to the point where it's like how you guys are at the gym, except in a class setting. It's like we're all learning together and seeing our growth together. And there's some friendly competition going on with some of us. Like I don't know, I can lift more than you, even though it's not how you should be thinking about it. But still, it's just a goal that you're working towards. You're pushing each other the extra couple of miles.
That's what I like, because I think that's what we do together. Like, we're always motivating. Like you said the other day, you were like, we need to start, if we see each other getting weaker and everything, do more.
Well, like, because there's times that, and I think you guys are starting to understand now that you got to call me on stuff too, because you guys didn't for the longest time. And so I was just doing, but I also tend to push myself, but I'm human too, and I get tired. And so there have been a couple of times where, like, it's like, there's that video where Jalen's really good about this, and it's funny because, like, she'll see me struggling on something, and she will, like, walk over, and she literally, like, gets her 2 fingers and just, like, lightly lifts whatever I'm trying to, like, push up. And so she doesn't say anything. She just walks. She's just watching me. Sometimes she's on her phone, and then she looks up and she sees that I'm struggling. She walks over and she just goes. The first time she did it, we laughed so hard because it was on the pull-up assist. And I was like, damn it, I want to get to 8. And it's funny because we all have our strengths in the gym. Like, we all have things that we're better at than the others.
Jalen is stupid. Like, I'm telling you, this girl got muscles in her legs. She is strong in her legs, man.
And then this one, little fucking power lifter, and, like, I've got more of the upper body, so I can do, like, the pull-ups and chin-ups and all that stuff. And so I was just like, damn it, I want to get to number 8. And I'm, like, struggling. I didn't say anything. And she literally goes, and I was like, okay. So technically I didn't finish it by myself, but I finished it
Mhm.
because she was there supporting me. And so I think that that's like, we see a lot of people that are in groups at the gym. And I think the difference with us, and I'm not speaking to anyone else's experience, but the difference with us is that we are there like, no, that looks too damn easy. Like there's times where they're doing something and I'm like, what the hell? You're like literally just like doing this.
You're like just looking around.
Yeah, I'm like, you're just going through the motions. Or this was standing there smiling, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? This is too damn easy for you.
Mhm.
I'm like, if your legs aren't shaking, or you don't feel like you're gonna throw up, or you don't feel like something is gonna bust on your body, then you're not doing enough.
And I like that attitude to it because that's how your life should be. You should have people around you that
Exactly.
are
Really
pushing
good
you the
point.
extra way.
Exactly.
That if you need help, if you're struggling, they're gonna come behind you. They're not
Just
gonna do it
literal-
for you, but they're gonna give you the
Yeah.
support that you need to lift you
I
the
love
extra
that.
moment. Because like you said, sometimes you're just tired.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that applies to life. Sometimes you're just tired.
No, you're right.
And
You're right.
you need people in your life that can lift you up when you feel tired.
Right. And not even say anything about it or tell you that they're doing that. They're just
And
kind of doing
not make
that.
you feel bad about it.
Right.
Sometimes in life, people will help you out with things. They'll bring you to a certain place where you're out of the dump that you were in. You've gone above rock bottom again. And when you get there and something happens in that relationship, it gets to the point where it's like, well, remember when I brought you out of this funk that you were
Yeah.
in? Or just bringing it up in a negative way. Like you need people in your life that are going to do that for you, help you when you need it, be there when you feel like you can't go anymore.
Yeah.
You're sitting there.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, I just want to go a little bit further. I'm at 5 right now. I just want to get to 8. Then you have somebody that comes up, just silent helper, whatever you need in that moment. Like that little motion that you're doing with your fingers,
Yeah.
just the slightest little
like
lift,
just
is just a
tiny
good
little-
representation of what somebody would need
Yeah.
when they're in that type of situation. That's all I can think about.
Yeah.
You learn things like that. Like it sounds corny, but that's why I like the gym. Is things like that. Is you're applying it to your life outside of just for the gym, outside of
Right.
the gym, like discipline and having a good group around you when
'Cause it
you're at the
does
gym.
carry over.
It's
It
like you guys,
absolutely
y'all
does.
have your fun at the gym. You do your thing. It's a fun time. You might play around a little bit, but that's not what it is for
Right,
you. You
right.
see groups on the outer end, and it's like you said, they're either doing something. It's like, what the hell is that? That's not helping you at
Yeah.
all. Or on the opposite end, you got people that they're just to the gym to go mingle and fuck around, and it's a very surface level thing. They're not getting anything that they're putting
Right.
in because you're putting in 5% when other people are trying to put in 100.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you have a group around you that's putting in 100% and y'all are pouring into each other, you can't beat that.
No, and I think that's
Exactly.
why, like, when was it like 2 podcasts ago we talked about like who your friends are says a lot about who you are. And so who you surround yourself with is so monumental in your success and how well you're going to do. Because I mean, there's there's nothing at this point in my life that's going to stop me from going to the gym, short of being sick, which has happened, or surgery, and something that God forbid I'm not able to do it. But sometimes people do need that extra push, that extra motivation. There was
Exactly.
one morning, it was funny because I think we had to be at the gym early because they had work. And so we were in the group chat and it was like, hey bitches, you guys up? And then it was like, yeah, are you? And then everyone's like responding. It was like, damn, I'm so tired. And everyone's like, me too. And then it's like, are we going to the gym? And there was kind of like that little like, ugh. And then I think Billy goes, I kind of just want to go back to sleep. And then I was like, you know what? And then Jalen goes, no, I'm down. Let's go. And I go, that's right. You want to get a better ass? Get your asses up. Let's go. Let's go to the
The
gym.
funny
And we
part
were
is-
tired as hell that day.
What I love about them is like I sleep a lot and they know. The thing that I love about them is that like they text me because they know how the group chat
We
community
spam her.
sometimes they spam me and like I'm half the time I'm awake, I'm just on my phone and I answer. Like that's what I love is that like they like spam my phone to wake me
Yeah,
up.
because we're
to
like,
the
let's get this
gym.
bitch up. And then we start spamming her. And so we both start. But yeah, no, I think going back to that, I 100% agree. I think that if you apply that logic to your life and you really look around and you're like, okay, so who's uplifting me and who is telling me not to go and who's telling me, who's holding me back? It's the people who are holding you back that you got to let go of. And
Exactly.
that is, we've talked about this before. That is such a difficult thing to do, to say, you know what? No, I choose me. I choose me. And when in choosing myself, that means I'm not choosing to have you in my life because you're hindering my growth. You're hindering my progress. And whether you're doing it intentionally or not, I got to take a step back. And if you want to come along, I'm more than happy to have you with me. But if not, it's been good.
Yeah, it's not
It's
personal.
yeah, it's
That's the
been
biggest
good.
thing is like you have people that are doing things for you that are helping you. It's a mutual exchange
Mm-hmm.
of help in a sense. Then you have people that are doing absolutely nothing
Nothing.
for you. They're not
Mm-hmm.
hurting you. They're not helping you. They are just doing nothing for
Yeah.
you. They add nothing to your life. If they weren't there, you wouldn't notice.
Right.
And then you have people at the bottom that, like you said, are hindering you. They're stopping your growth. They're pushing you in the wrong direction. You're trying to go over here. You're trying to go towards the light. They're pushing you towards the
Mm-hmm.
dark side. It's like, just
Mhm.
come over here. Just be
Like
lazy,
just
or
yeah,
or
right.
let's
And
do
it's
something we're not supposed to do.
because it's easy to do the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, one of my friends was telling me that, somebody had reached out to her and she's lost a ton of weight. And I'm so proud of her. But she was saying that somebody reached out to her and was like, how did you do it? And she's like, oh, I had the surgery. And she's like, you didn't do it the right way. I'm so disappointed in you. This and that. And I was like, what exactly is the right way? Like, to me, this is just as frustrating as, like, teachers obviously have I'm not going to say all of them. There are some amazing teachers, but there are those teachers that they're like, if you don't do this my way, you're doing it wrong. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like there's more than one way to get to the same answer
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be flexible enough in life to be able to say, you know what? That path didn't work for me, but we both arrived to the same destination. Why do you care how I got there? You
Mm-hmm.
should be happy that I found another route that works for me. Maybe it doesn't work for you, but it works for me. And so she reached out to her and was basically talking her down because she's just like, I'm so disappointed. I thought you would have done it correctly. And I was like, what exactly is correctly? I was like, so what is her issue? And she clearly needs to lose weight. And so she was wanting some feedback. And I said to her, I told her, I said, don't ever let anybody dim your light because they can't handle the shine.
Mm-hmm.
There's a quote that said, if you can't handle my shine, put on some fucking sunglasses because the sun doesn't stop shining just because you can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put a hat on, you got to put some sunglasses on, get your sunblock on, figure out how to handle it. If not, get out of the fucking sun. Find a way to make your life better so that you stop hating on others. And so the fact that she was so hateful to her, I said to her, I go, do not let that dim your light. You have done something so monumental, losing weight, losing that much weight. I mean, I lost the equivalent of a person, of a pretty healthy person, 130 pounds. Nobody can take that away from me.
Mm-mm.
And so I said to her, I was like, the sad thing is that what she's saying to you is a reflection of how she feels about herself
Mm-hmm.
because she's jealous and she's being a hater. And so I always tell everyone, don't be a hater. See it as inspiration. Be like, shit, they lost so much weight. I want to do that. I would love to be on the other end of that and inspire others, which is why I've always been so big about like the before and afters. I still love seeing those. I love seeing people, especially when they
Mhm.
look nothing like their befores. I'm like, that is insane. I
That's how
love
I felt.
that.
That's how I felt about you. Like, cause like honestly, I didn't see it. Cause we were with you all the time.
Yeah.
So we didn't see that what other people were seeing until you showed us pictures, and then we looked at you now, and I was like, holy shit! Oh
Mhm.
my
There's pictures
gosh.
that I'll send in. I have several different group chats, but there's
Mhm.
pixtures that I send, and I'm like, oh my god, look, she was a whale. She was so fluffy.
Literally, this bitch was like, "Hey guys, no, no." Literally the other day, she was like, "Guys, I was so fat," and I was like,
But I accept it and I know who I was.
Yeah.
I understand that there was a lot of medical issues for me as well that I couldn't help with PCOS and
Mhm.
the gluten and all that other stuff that I had issues with. That I understand that, but there were also choices that I could have made that would have made my life physically and better. And so, yeah, that's why I'm saying like I would not change this process for anything because it has taught me so much about myself and about others. And really mentally, I think I tell the girls this all the time. Your mind stops before your body does.
Mhm.
And half the
I
time
agree.
you're like, I can't do it.
And it's like,
This is so hard. And I never had that attitude until I got my ACL and my MCL replaced because the fear of re-injuring is very real.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was on one of the machines and we had a decent amount of plates on it. And I looked at it and I was like, shit, this is getting close to my PR. I'm not there where I was. And I was just like you could see the look in my face and both Millie and Jalen were like, nope, it's in your head. It's in your head. You can do it. And I was like, I don't know. And so they both were standing on the end just in case they needed to help. bail me out. But I think I got in a couple
Mhm.
of reps. I got
You
in a
did.
few reps, but it was still mentally like it was very mentally challenging because I was like, damn, this is not easy. My body used to be able to do this so easily, and now I'm having to worry about my knee bending in, or like what if this happens or that happens. And I've never had knee issues or anything prior to the injury. So um yeah, it's been humbling for damn
Mhm.
sure,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in the gym every single day. I was doing sometimes 2 a days, and I was just my goal is I want to be athletic. I want to jump and like, because you guys know, like I'm hyper, and so like
Mhm.
I'm always moving and doing stuff, and so I want to be athletic. I don't want to be skinny. I want to look strong. I want to look fit. I want to be athletic. I want to be able to do like the marathons and run and jump on things. Like that's been my goal. And so yeah, we're working back to it. So
Yeah, you're getting there. The progress you've made has been insane, especially with Skip. I remember when we first started, because we've been going, me and you have been going since December, and then
Yeah.
Jalen tagged along in
January.
November, right?
January.
Oh, it was January. Yeah, in January, and that's when we all started going. And like the progress we've made ever since is crazy.
My leg was tiny. It was the
Mhm.
size of my arm.
And
When
like I remember,
after I first had
yeah.
surgery, and so it was teeny tiny. So my surgeon was like, I genuinely was a little bit afraid that you weren't going to come back from this. He's like, because my muscle, my quads, like I had no quad, like no hamstring, like nothing. I had no muscle. My muscles had atrophied. And so there's like in one of the videos where like I have my leg out straight and I have the brace underneath it, and I'm trying to flex my quad, and you could just see the muscle trying to come to life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's twitching. I'd never in my life had experienced that ever. And I was like, this sucks. How humbling it was to like have to like walk around and try to open doors. And people were probably the nicest they'd ever been to me when I was on crutches with the leg brace. People were
Mhm.
so kind.
Oh yeah.
Like opening doors and grabbing stuff for me and coming up to me and, oh no, what did you do? The amount of guys that came up to me and they're like, I had that surgery. And I'm like, how? Every single one of them. I played football.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them. They're like, I played football and you got to do this and you got to do that. And so, um, yeah, I'm just grateful to God to be in a better place
Mhm.
physically. Not to mention obviously emotionally and mentally, just in general, but physically, I'm loving it.
Mhm.
I'm loving
Yeah,
it.
back to that mind thing, like you said, like, cause there's been times where me and Jalen, especially me, where you've told me like when it's getting too hard, you're like no, cause you're like you want us when we do burnouts, you
Mhm.
said do burnouts, and I was like I stopped, and you're like, was it your mind telling you that you couldn't do anymore, or was it you? And I was like, it was my mind, so I
Yeah.
did more because like that is a true thing that she says, like your brain definitely tells you to
Your
quit.
mind quits before your body does. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so
Mm-hmm.
you got to keep going. That's what the when oh God, what was it? As we were doing the hip thrust and you were like, my legs are shaking. I'm like, that's how you know you're doing it right.
Exactly.
If you're not
Hip
walking out of here
thrust.
feeling like Bambi, you ain't doing
Hip
it right.
thrust. Oh my gosh. I hate that machine, but I love it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a love and hate relationship.
So yeah. So always an interesting process, I guess, with like the whole gym and weight loss and whatnot. And um I wish more people would understand like the value in it
Mm-hmm.
and fall
Exactly.
in love with it the way that, because I think you do, once you get in there and you build consistency and then you just build like that momentum, you fall in love with it because you're like,
Mhm.
not only do I feel better, but I look better. I like, it's just,
Exactly.
it's such a good mental release, and it release, like exercise is one of the healthiest ways to combat depression and anxiety, and it's not talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think schools need to do a better job. I mean, I think that, you know, we mentioned Holland, but how many you know, PE teachers, I know the middle school had really good PE teachers, but how
Mm-hmm.
many
Mileto,
they were really
Cruz.
good. But how many PE teachers did you guys come across that wouldn't run a mile with you guys or couldn't run a mile with you guys?
Mm-hmm. That's
Or
the biggest thing.
the health teachers
Mm-hmm.
that are sitting there telling you to eat healthy, and they're like drinking a soda and like eating junk food, and I'm like, that's hypocritical.
It's hard to take someone seriously when you don't see them doing the same thing,
Mhm.
when they're not willing to do the same thing as you, which is also another thing that you can apply to something that maybe is a more abstract idea. Like if somebody's not willing, if they're telling you to do something and they're not willing to do it themselves, maybe they aren't the best person to learn from.
Right.
That's just facts. Like Holland, Cruz, Mileto, those are all of the gym teachers that I've had in like that y'all know of. Like I even when I was before I came to District 8, I was in District 3. And when I was in 7th grade, that's when I started playing football. And my football coach was another one. It was different because it was more exercises and things that we're doing for football.
Right.
Because I played on the line, which is like just pushing heavy people. It's just throwing people
Pushing heavy
down.
people.
You're just throwing people down, pushing them. They're pushing back against you. You got to make a hole for whoever's carrying the ball to run through. That shit it's the same thing. I learned a lot that was obviously applied to the game of football, applied to physical stuff in general, working out. And then on the opposite side, of that I can apply to a lot of different things. That's the biggest thing that I take away from the gym is like you said, it's a great place to decompress, to de-stress, like just forget about everything. There's days where I've had terrible work days, like nothing went my way. I feel so defeated leaving work. Then I'm like, I'm sitting in the car like, I'm just gonna go home. Force myself to go to the gym, and I never regret it. There's never been a time. That's the thing for me that I have to tell myself, even with other things. Like I'll talk myself out of doing something that I know I either really want to do or I really should do.
Yeah.
And then it ends up, I never regret it if I force myself to do it. I only regret it if I'm sitting there like, oh, I should have went this place, or I should have did this thing. I should have said this. I should have done something different in this scenario instead of just sitting here doing nothing.
So the saying, you don't regret the things you do, you end up regretting the things you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Things you because I mean, there are things you do, you're like, yeah, I probably would have not done, but at least you have the experience now to say, you know what, I did it, I didn't like it, I won't do it again.
And
but
honestly,
at least you've done it.
I keep coming back to that because that's something that's been on my mind so heavy lately. Maybe it's because I've been at home. I'm on vacation right now, and I've been at home more than I am used to. It's been a while since I've been at home alone with my own thoughts. Like most of the time, it's up early in the morning, going to work, focusing only on work. Then lately, it's the podcast, like doing that on my breaks or when I get home, then going to the gym and focusing on what everybody in the house needs. And then by the time I get to myself, I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. And having time by myself to just be alone in my own thoughts, it's been hard, but it's been something that I have been able to.
You probably needed it.
And that's the funny thing is it's one of those things like I thought about not taking this time off that I did. I was like, I don't know. I might well save it for, we're going to a concert this year. We're going on a cruise later in the year. It's like, I'll just save it. And my birthday is coming up. I'm like, I'll just save it for those things.
Wait, when is your birthday?
June 4th. June 4th, I turned 23, which is
look at you
crazy.
getting old.
Yeah, it's just a lot of things have been happening lately that have put me in a different mindset, and it's been kind of hard, but it's one of those things where just trying to focus on the positive things and trying to talk myself out of sitting there and doing nothing. Like yesterday, or maybe it was the day before yesterday. It was one of the days where it had just stopped snowing really bad, and I was sitting in the house, so depressed because nothing was going my way. I was expecting to be like all over. I was expecting to do different things, to be more productive, and I just sat there and I just started sinking into the couch, getting depressed, and my mom called me and I talked to her about it, and I was like, I don't know. I just feel like shit. I just feel like I'm just sitting here and I feel trapped in the house. I can't do anything. My car is literally buried under snow. Like if you think that's an exaggeration, it's literally buried in snow. We got a lot of snow recently. And
that heavy wet snow too.
Exactly. And it was a thing of made myself get up and be productive. I cleaned everything in the house recently. I shoveled the snow real good. At first, I kind of hurt my back doing it, and I was like, fuck this, I don't want to be out here anyway. Went back inside, was thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm using this as an excuse. I feel so just trapped and depressed right now and sad, And I went out, finished shoveling the rest of the snow, finished digging my car out, getting everything ready. And I told my family, I was like, I'm just going to go check the mail real quick. And then I ended up being in the car and I was out for hours.
Like, did he get lost?
Yeah, I just felt like I need to do something to break myself out of this funk. And I've gotten better at that. I feel like lately, or not lately, I feel like in the past, whenever I've gotten in a funk, I've just sat there, bringing it back to that point, sat there and done nothing and regretted doing nothing. Instead of, I know if I do what I thought I wanted to do, or what I know in the back of my mind is going to be best for me, I'm not going to regret it. Why would you?
Right.
It's the same thing bringing it back to the gym. Is whenever there's days where I feel like I don't want to go to the gym, and I actually don't, I always regret it. I sit there, I feel stupid, I feel lazy, I feel undetermined, and that feeling can fester into a longer, like, damn, I haven't been to the gym in months. I haven't been to the gym in a year. I never go to the gym anymore, and I've gained so many pounds, and I'm not where I used to be.
And it happens so fast.
And before you know it.
Yeah, I think it also becomes one of those things that, like, I've talked about this before with Sammy, where I told him that, like, I was like that overachieving kid. I was like the chess champion, and I was the top, like, I don't know if they still did it when you guys were kids, but when I was a kid, they would do the it was the presidential physical fitness
I think
thing.
we did that, but it was
like, they
called
would give
something
you,
else.
like, yeah, they would give you like certificates, and like with my group of kids, like, there was only so many kids that would get it. Like, you wouldn't get it. I was like the only girl who can, like, do rope climbs and pull ups, and I was very, very athletic as a kid. And I remember also being like the top student. So I was always the kid that the teacher would be like, I'm going to step out really quickly. I need you to watch the class. Or we're going to do the weather. I need you to go and read the weather on the announcements. Or I need you to give the speech or be the head of, like, I was very successful. And school was easy for me. Sports were easy for me. And I remember the very, very first time I got anything below an A, I think I got a C. And I was just like, I was sick. Like, I wanted to throw up. I felt like my world was going to end. And I was like, damn it. Like, this sucks. Like, I've maintained straight A's and perfect attendance and this and that. And I was still a shit in the middle of all that. Don't get me wrong. I was still fighting and doing everything I was doing, but I was like very, very successful. After that first C, after that first, like, I don't like how it feels. It makes me feel gross. I don't feel accomplished. Then it was another C, and that C didn't feel quite as bad. And then there was another one, and that didn't feel quite as bad. And then I got my first D, and then I was like, whatever. And then I failed my first class. This is when I was getting into like middle school and high school. And then I got to the point where I was just like, I don't even care anymore. And I think that that's the same thing with like fitness and that type of thing. Is it like what you were saying? Like, eventually you get to the point where you're just like, look at Taco.
Is your dad home? Is your dad home, Taco?
He's like, I hear him. Go get him, Bubba.
Look.
Go get him. He's coming. Go get Sammy. He's up quick.
That's funny.
But yeah, I think going back to what you were talking about, failure starts to feel normal. And I think a lot of people get trapped in that because they're like, it's just like with me at first, I didn't like the C. And then eventually I was like, C's not that bad. And then I was like, a D's not that bad. I failed. Oh, fuck it. Who cares?
Then eventually you get to the point where you're convincing yourself that you could never be
right
that great again. And it could be something literal like that, or it can be something more like metaphorical just in life. Like, you get used to the mental state that you're in and you're like, this is not going to get better than this.
Right.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm not going to try anymore.
I think I'm glad that you forced yourself to like get out and to do stuff, because I recently was, I was in a book. I don't remember which one it was, but I was reading a book and it was talking about, how sometimes, hi Bubba, are you going to come back? It talks about how sometimes, you know, we're set to do something and then our minds are like, I don't really feel like going. I'd rather lay in bed. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I want to take a nap. And they said that oftentimes that's the devil stopping you from the greatness that God has for you. And I thought that was really interesting, because there have been times where like I've wanted to talk myself out of doing something because I'm just like, but it's cold, or I'm tired, or I'd rather sleep, or I'm hungry, or, you know, whatever reasons I wanted to come up with. And then like I have like forced myself. He probably wants you to take him out, so I have like forced myself to I forced myself to do the thing that I didn't was trying to talk myself out of, and then I'm like, I would have missed out on this, this, and this if I wouldn't have come.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like you always tell us, like the devil, when you know, sometimes we used to isolate ourselves, and you told us the devil likes to try and steal our joy and happiness that God provides us, with the people that God has given us in our lives.
right.
Mm-hmm.
No, and you're right, because and I've told you guys that, and that's why like that one last Friday when I was having a really bad day, and I was like, this is not a good day, guys. And all of you guys were like, no, we're not letting you feel like this. We're here for you. This is just a moment. It's okay. It's this and that. But like, think about how many moments you've had like that where you haven't said anything to anybody
Mm-hmm.
and you just let it sink in. And I do think that's where like the enemy attacks, and the enemy comes in and is like, see, no one's checking on you. No one loves you. Nobody cares about you. You're all alone. You have nobody. You're all like, your life is the worst. It's this and that. And you know what? We're all human. It gets us all at different times. But man, fighting against that, it's just like anything else in life. I guess this is too where we can go and talk about how the gym, you can apply it in life, right? The more consistent you are with going every single day to the gym and putting in the work, it's the same thing with that kind of a situation where you're like, okay, so I'm going to stay positive and I'm going to reach out to others and I'm going to ask for help and I'm going to try and see, what's really out there. It gets better with practice.
Mm-hmm. It does. You can't do something once and expect it to stick. The more and to expect it to be done well. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more it becomes routine. It becomes muscle memory at that point. Literally muscle memory when you're at the gym and you don't know how to do an exercise or you don't know how to get your form right on something. And you're like, this doesn't feel right. And then you keep going at it. You keep learning more. You keep learning from, like, literally you learn from other things, like watching other people, maybe some other people at the gym are like seeing you struggle and they're like, hey, like, you need help with that?
Yeah.
I don't think you're doing that right.
People
No offense or anything.
People are good at helping.
And then eventually it becomes a thing. You're not even thinking about it anymore. You're just doing it. You're just sitting, like yesterday. I think it was yesterday. This is being off during the week is not normal for me. It throws you
off, yeah.
But the fact that I did that, the way I ended my day way better than I began it, and I started today way better than I started yesterday, and ended yesterday, because it was a thing of, if you would have called me a year ago, especially like 2 years ago, 2020 is the worst that I've ever felt before. Mm-hmm. If you would have called me then, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have felt my emotions and felt how, like, damn, I feel really shitty. I feel really irritated and just unhappy right now. Let me go do something about that. The fact that I did that yesterday, it feels really good. It's still, I'm not completely out of the funk that I've been in. It's just a thing that I get into sometimes, especially when it's colder for longer than it should be. I think it's a seasonal thing.
Cold weather messes with you.
Yeah.
When it's cold and dark for longer than it should be, it kind of fucks with me, I think. I've never recognized that until very recently. I'm like, maybe that's what this is. Like, it's always a challenge, but I feel really good about the place that I'm in with that aspect. And I feel really good bringing it back to the gym one more time before, if you have questions, can you pull them up, by the way?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah.
If you get to the point where it's like, I forgot what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought. Fuck. But I say that to say, like, you get better in life with certain things and you can apply those aspects to things that you've learned in the gym. I've been very reflective lately, and us talking about the gym so much this episode has really made me think about that. It's kind of crazy.
Speaking of weather, that groundhog is a fucking liar. First of all, why are we
so offended by this groundhog?
Why are we depending on a groundhog to predict the weather? Because the groundhog allegedly said that spring is coming soon. I don't see spring, honey. I see snow.
Especially where we live, like, you can't listen to anybody, really.
But we also have not had a real winter, though. We haven't really had a lot of snow.
It keeps getting, that's climate change for you. That's literally the climate changing. I remember when I was a kid, it was snowing like really when it was supposed to snow in the last few months of the year. Not in like, it's almost spring break for some kids, and it snowed this week. Kids go on spring break next week, some of them.
Can we just talk about who decided that it was a good idea to, listen to an animal on when spring is coming?
That's one of those things. They just did that just to
like, what is wrong with people? Like, we gonna sit and
make a
listen to a
funny
damn
thing.
groundhog.
That's like Santa
Spring
Claus.
is coming soon.
It's just fake shit that you
that groundhog
believe.
didn't predict shit. All he did was sniff the floor and then went back into hiding.
I don't even know that he sniffed the floor, though, did he? Didn't he just, like, come out?
I don't know. I think I saw a clip on TikTok, but it's like, bro, what is this? I got the weather app my phone. I'll just see when it is.
Usually when it snows like this before summer, we have a really dry summer too. Like when it snows and rains.
Can't wait.
True.
I can't wait until the summer.
So, me too. I'm ready to paddleboard. Paddleboard and rock climb.
I'm just ready for summer.
Paddleboarding.
Yeah, like paddleboarding. I didn't get to do it last summer because of my knee. But yeah, I'm ready for paddleboarding and water. Just I'm a water baby. I love being
Me
in the water.
too.
Anywhere near water, I'm good with.
All right.
All right,
Give us some
so
questions.
These are some questions that I'd asked you guys to submit. So thank you for those of you who submitted them, and for
Thanks,
those of you
guys.
who didn't,
Thank you.
I'll be coming after you. No, just kidding. But some of them are kind of off the wall, so we may ignore a few of these, but some of them were pretty good. The first one is more of a request than what it is an actual question. So I will have to send you this video.
Okay.
It says, "Can you please show Millie's dancing video from when she was younger?"
Okay, first of all, who put that question in there? Second of all, we will not be putting the video in. I'm so sorry for that request.
It's actually it's pretty good.
That's funny.
Jalen, if you ask that question, we will be
It
fighting.
was not Jalen. I'm not even friends with her on Instagram.
Jalen.
All right. Favorite Starbucks drink?
I don't have a favorite Starbucks drink. I don't drink Starbucks. I'm lame because I can't have caffeine.
Wait, why can't you have caffeine?
Because my blood pressure is really high and it just makes it higher. It's better now, but when I went to the doctor and they first told me I had high blood pressure, it was because I was drinking a lot of caffeine at the time because I was just trying to like be on go at work because I wasn't performing well at the time. I didn't know how to do my job yet.
So you're like, throw some caffeine on top.
Yeah,
It'll
like
be
I'm
good.
just like I just gotta be fat because I was just doing things. I didn't know how to do certain things, so it would take me forever to do stuff. And my boss was like, she talked to me about it and was like, I just feel like it's taking longer than it should do. She was honest with me, and I'm honest with myself. That's how I was at the time,
which is good.
But then I just started like stressing about it and trying to be on go. And then she told me, she was like, yeah, do you drink caffeine? Do you have a lot of salt? And I'm like, it was just after I stopped working at Verizon, which I sat at a desk all the time at Verizon. So I was eating junk food all the time that they would bring in, drinking coffee with these guys. Then I'm at Target and I'm drinking these fucking Pepsi Nitros. And that shit's so damn good though. I love Pepsi Nitro. It's so good. I haven't had one in years. It's so good.
I never Pepsi.
My favorite Starbucks drink, I haven't been, obviously we're not doing the no sugar, but obviously we do sugar here and there. But after we did the no sugar, I haven't been to Starbucks in a while, actually, even before that, to be honest. Yeah. But I think when I used to go to Starbucks a lot, I would always get, it was like a regular drink, like a vanilla bean frappuccino with extra caramel.
Which I would slap you for doing that shit now. That would not happen.
She would literally, they would literally kill me. But I used to drink those all the time because they were so good. Or my best friend Leanna, she put me on this drink. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a something with strawberries in it, and it's like
the acai.
That shit is good. That
might
might
the
be
strawberry
mine.
refresher, but you add 4 pumps of scoop, like the ice cream scoop or whatever. There's some vanilla bean scoop, but it's like really good.
Sounds like a lot of sugar.
It is. You would have slapped me for that one too.
Yeah. So a big go-to for me at Starbucks is, this is gonna be so boring, but again, because I've been like on the health and fitness thing, for me it's a iced green tea with 4 Splendas and 2 pumps of sugar-free peppermint. I don't know why, and it's ice. And as a former teacher, I had a ton of Starbucks gift cards always, so I always got it for free. But that was my Starbucks drink. I also like the pink drink, the acai, the refreshers
I
are
like all
pretty
the ones that
good.
aren't coffee. That's
Yeah.
that's
I
the
Yeah,
short
that's
love
my
answer to
thing.
my
so
question.
I love coffee. Lately Jalen and I have been doing quad shots at at Dutch, and it's a lot of and me on caffeine is a whole other level of crazy. But so
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
that's
not a
what that
big
is.
like at Starbucks and Dutch Bros. I don't get coffee. I get like their energy drinks, but sugar free, of course.
All right. What's one of your favorite memories from your last year of teaching? Good Lord. Um, there's a lot. It's so hard to narrow it down. I think that my last year of teaching, I didn't know it was going to be my last year of teaching. Had I known, I don't know that anything would have been different, because I think that I always enjoyed every moment with my kids, as much as I could. All the craziness, the loudness. I mean, there were some days where I was just like, my head is buzzing because it's so freaking loud. But I would say probably one of my favorite moments was um Milena made a video for me. She made it for the seniors. I didn't know they had thrown in a video for me. Was it, did she play it separately or did she attach it to the senior video?
I'm pretty sure she attached it to the senior video.
Or no, I think
I kind of
it was
forgot.
separate. So she created this video for me, and I remember the intro was like a television, and it like turned on, and all of a sudden it was like all the stuff that like we had done, like the dinners and the football games and the basketball games and stuff in class. And I don't think I've ever cried that hard. And there's a video of like everyone like coming around to like hug me, because I'm like standing there crying like a fool. Jalen's next to me. And all the seniors are just come around me and are just like hugging me, and I'm just like sobbing. I'm crying. And it was weird because I feel like Esteban and I used to have these conversations where he was like, you could literally like do anything you want. He goes, it's kind of like your senior year. He goes, if you wanted to go get another job or go somewhere else, like you could do that. He's like, I'm not saying like that's what you're gonna do. He's like, but it's kind of like your senior year. So um that group, and obviously you guys, like it was a very um my last year of teaching was, it was a big one. It was a lot of stress, but it was so much more love, I think, that went with it, that it made it worth it. But yeah, I would say that probably had to have been one of my favorite moments. Playing hide and go seek in our studio was fun. I remember because I used to do the glow in the dark nails all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Malik would be like, "Oh, look at Light Bright over here. We can't hide with her because you can see her nails." And then I remember like the boys were hiding by laying on the ground, and I tripped over somebody, and I feel like my whole hand went into like either CJ or Jaden's mouth, and I was just like, "Get up off the ground." So yeah, I mean, there was a lot. That video probably, it was huge. I came across it the other day, and it made me cry again. But oh my god, our field trips, our dinners,
Oh my god, our
it
field
was
trips
just,
were so fun.
there was so much that happened that year that
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so thankful for. Um let's see. Sorry, there's some crazy ones. Is today's generation horrible to raise kids in?
I would say me personally, yes, because like I don't know everything with like phones and stuff. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I just want to raise a kid in this generation.
I think every generation's hard to raise kids, and
Yeah.
there's something bad about every single generation. Like
Mm-hmm.
after the last episode, my mom and I were talking about the different TV shows like from the 80s that I used to watch because of her, including Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how in different episodes of TV shows there was like a lot of crazy shit, like the episode you'd seen Different Strokes before, right?
Yeah.
The episode where Arnold almost gets like kidnapped at the bike
Oh,
thing.
yes.
That's crazy. All the different things about drugs in the like if you grew up in the 80s, you grew up like more free. Therefore, there was more things that could possibly happen to you because you were out on your own and getting into shit that you couldn't have. That's like when my mom grew up, when she grew up. And when I grew up, it was more of you're afraid of what's on this phone, like different rumors that spread so fast through social media and having to navigate that whole field of people saying things because they're behind a screen and they might not see you in your face often. They can say something behind your back, which is just on the screen. It's the same thing that they wouldn't say in front of you. And it's just and the whole like some people pretending to be who they aren't, like how we were talking about last episode, like with the dating apps. It's the same thing with these kids on just normal social media. Somebody could be talking to you and it could be some creep,
Damn near 30.
yeah, some creep that went to your high school a long time ago. It could be anybody. School shootings weren't as big when when you were a kid, as opposed to like when we were in high schools, we're having drills for this shit. I think it's hard to raise a kid in every era. People like to pick one specifically, especially this one, because of how prevalent social media is now. But I just feel like it's hard across the board.
I think that every generation, God puts the people in it that need to be in it. I think the kids they're okay with it.
My bad. I just want to see the last question.
They're it's not the last one. They're okay with it. I think that my sister probably had one of the best responses that I can think of when my nephew, I guess, was saying something to her about like, it's kind of scary that, kids do this and that. And my sister said to him, don't be scared. God put you in this generation because you can handle it. Like, you're meant for this generation. You're not meant for any other generation. And I fully believe that. I think that every generation has its good and has its bad. I mean, there was shit that we did that I'm like, ew. Like, it's crazy stuff that kids today would never do because you are on your phone and this and that. And I mean, there was a friend of ours who she lent us her car one time and we took it out into the back roads. And my friend's like, oh, there's a hill that if you go really fast on, it tickles your tummy and you'll just go wee. And I was like, okay. And so it was a dirt road and we ditched school for this. And we were on this dirt road and he's like, gun it, go fast. So my foot's down on the gas. I didn't realize that the wee he's talking about, because of how fast I was going, we went straight off instead of it going down like this. So we flew off this hill. And all I know is that like I had like my friends, I think my sister was in there with us and I was just like, or she might have been at school. She was a good kid, but I was just like, we're going to die. We're going to flip. Like, we're going to hit nose first. And all I remember was that like, I just put my hands in the steering wheel because I was like, I got to hold on to it. This is going to be hard. And my friend, the one who told us to do it, he's like, wee, this is fun. And I'm like, no, this is bad. So I put my hands inside of the steering wheel and I held it. So then when we landed, it wasn't going everywhere. And so I was just holding on to it. I ended up with massive bruises on the inside of my arms from it. And one of the girls in the back was like, I just bit my tongue. And she's like screaming. And we get back to the school and we realize that this girl's hubcaps are gone. Because when we landed, the hubcaps all popped off and her bumper was dragging. And one of our friends comes out and he goes, shit, you guys busted her bumper. And he kicks her bumper back on and it pops back on. And then we convinced her that somebody stole her hubcaps because they said Chrysler on them, which wasn't true. It was full of shit. But like, there stuff like that is not a thing. And we could have died easily. There were so many instances. So I do think that great question, by the way. But I do think that we are very hard on current generations because we want to believe that we were better and we weren't. We weren't. We were not any different. And the difference is that there's different ways to live now. Social media is so different. It wasn't around when I was a kid. If it was, I guarantee you I would have gotten in trouble with it some way, shape, or form. The stuff that we did, the Ring cameras and catching people doing stuff outside their house and all that type of thing, like, oh my Lord, like it would have been very, very different. So anybody who's hypocritical is like, this generation's terrible. It's no different. It's just in a different way. Everyone.
Yeah, it's always changing and evolving.
Well, and the reality is that you have to understand that kids are learning. And so they're going to make stupid decisions. They're going to do stupid things. It doesn't mean that they're stupid. It just means that they're learning. And so it's our responsibility to teach them. So
they're just being recorded doing stupid things now. That's the difference.
It's all there for everyone to see. Yeah. I mean, and I laugh about it, but like I'll randomly get like Jaden's big on this. He'll send me like a video or a picture. They do it. Like they'll be like, "Oh, do you remember this? This one has caught me doing," and
I catch her doing stuff all the time.
and I'm not even
Oh my
doing it like
goodness.
with the idea that like, oh,
She's
someone's
that's just
watching
how
it.
she
This is who I
is.
am, and she's just laughing. And all of a sudden, someone will send me something. I'm like, shit, I didn't know that existed, or like, I didn't know that was caught on camera. So we're all
Thanks for that
getting
question, guys.
caught up. Yeah, that
Thanks
was a good
to
one.
everyone. Too many
Hold on.
questions, by the way.
We have one more. Last one. This is kind of a heavy one. What do you fear most about the future?
What do y'all think about that one?
I would say not what I fear, just like I just fear like what's gonna happen. It's not one specific thing, just like what has for me in the future. But at the same time, I don't really have a fear because I know like I stand by God. Whatever future God has for me is what God has for me, you know? So it's not I can't really live in fear.
I mean,
You know?
I think that that's where I want to believe I'm at. And I do genuinely believe like God has, hi buddy, like God has a plan for me and for my future, and having faith in His plan and not worrying
But it is
is
scary.
is there's a certain sense of peace, but in that there's a lot of work that has to happen. I think there's a lot of having to, he's pretty hyper right now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of having to give it to God and really trust that and not wanting to pull down the control. Yeah, I don't know that I have a lot of fears about life. I don't like the idea of not being here on this earth to see the people that I love.
Yeah.
And to see the people that I love grow, and that's a I guess a fear I have, because I love my people, I love my friends, I love my family, I love my son. Like it does elicit a little bit of fear in me, but maybe not fear, but FOMO.
Anxious,
I don't want to
anxiety.
miss out.
What's FOMO?
Not even anxiety, fear of missing out.
FOMO. Obviously, Millie.
Yeah, like it's not even anxiety. I think it's just the idea of like, man, my son he would get to do this and I wouldn't be there, or like, not getting to see you guys do certain, like, I don't know that it's a fear. I think it's just it's kind of like a little bit of a sadness, like, because I know for me it sits very heavy because I haven't had parents since I was 30 years old. My mom passed when I was 30, and then my dad when I was 16. So I haven't had parents. And I haven't really had family that I can look to and be like, oh, like they got to see me grow up and I have this relationship with them. And I feel like my relationships are some of the strongest. It's one of the strongest things that I have in my life. And so the idea of not being there for that, I think it makes me sad. It doesn't scare me. It makes me sad. What about you?
Okay. This one's been a real episode. For me, the only thing I can honestly say that I fear about the future is having it pass the chance to take care of loved ones of mine. Like, I don't want to lose people that I care about, like my grandparents and my mom and other like family members and people that I care about, without being able to get to the level of success that I want to be at, to where I can take care of them. For so long, it's just, I'm the type of person where I really appreciate everything that my mom has done for me, everything that my grandparents did and continue to do for me, all of them. And if something were to happen, like with everything that happened with my granddad not too long ago, with him having to go to the hospital a couple times, it put that into perspective for me, as like, I got a lot I want to do. I got a lot I want to take care of. I got a lot of people I want to take care of. And if something were to happen where I couldn't do that, it scares me. It that's the thing that I'm fearful of. And not being successful in itself. All of mine have to do with success. That's why, like, I've told y'all this, like with the podcast specifically, that's the biggest reason why I wanted to do this, is to have another opportunity to have some sort of success brought to me and the people that I care about, to where we can truly take care of the people that we want to. We don't have to worry about anything anymore. I don't want to I want to get to the point where I don't have to worry about anything, and the people that I love don't either. That's the simple, and my simple answer to that question. And obviously, like, being here myself, that's things happen, especially when you have anxiety and shit. It's easy to like see things happen to other people and be like, damn, what if that happened to me? Like, oh my God, what if I were going to this place and I got in a car accident? Or what if I was in the car with these people that I know and got in a car accident or something happened? It's easy to get scared by that stuff.
I one of the things I was told by my therapist that has really, really stayed in my mind is that what ifs are the breeding ground for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't live in the what ifs because they didn't happen. They may never happen. And you may be punishing yourself by living in that world without it ever happening. So, um, anxiety anxiety comes from trying to control and live in the future, and depression comes from trying to live in the past. And if you learn that and you start to learn that whoever your higher power is, if it's for me, it's God. So when I learned that, you know what, God is going to have me in the place at the right time with the right people, my trust in that is greater than anything that I could have ever done. And obviously at 44 years old right now, I have a lot more experience than you guys do as far as life goes. And I can tell you guys that trying to control my future, trying to control my present, or living in the past has never served me at all in any way, shape, or form. And so the peace that I have really gotten to at this point in my life is finding peace because I know I don't have control over the future. I don't even know what it's going to look like. I don't really want to know what it's going to look like because it's a journey. And so that's why I'm so big on live in the now, live in today. That's why they, it's cheesy, but they're like, you got to live in the present. That's the gift. That's the gift you have because we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know what next week or next year, like, I mean, I've said this before. I had no idea that a year ago, this is where I would be, or 2 years ago that's where I would be. I mean, I told you guys the memory that popped up today, of where I was this time last year, watching somebody that, I, was in a relationship with in a really bad situation. And I was like, I was picturing that and I'm like, thank you, God, for not having me there. Thank you, God, for not putting me in that same place.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that once you recognize that, again, like I said, the worrying about the future is what causes anxiety, and thinking about the past is what causes depression. Once you get that into your mind and you realize you just got to focus on today, I think that's when life starts to get better.
Yeah. Taco's such a shithead.
I know he's just.
I listened to everything you said. I promise.
He's
just
and then
because he was barking at when he went behind me. He was barking at that door before we started filming, and I didn't want him to. That's why I keep.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was just because there's a dog on the other side of your fence there.
Yeah.
And he's just barking at the fucking door. And I'm
he loves people, but he's not a fan of dogs.
Exactly. So every time he goes up, and I'm like, stop it, go back over there. Little shit. Anyway, I think we'll end it there. Unless you had any other questions that you wanted to.
I don't think so. Okay, some of these were not questions, by the way.
Yeah, let's read those off, and then I'll wrap it up.
Thank you though for the people who actually submitted questions and not idiocy. Just kidding. We love you guys.
Somebody wanted to know, since I'm brown, can I honk my horn?
That was funny.
I don't get it.
I don't know. It just says brown person. Can you honk your horn?
Girl.
Let's see. Are you into younger dudes? Are you, Jordan? Millie?
Absolutely not.
What's your age limit, Millie?
18 older. Thanks.
Yeah, that question was not directed towards me, so I'm not going to answer that. I think that's like, why would you ask that?
Because you're a younger dude.
Guys, we're asking for questions.
You can get in there.
Like, okay, I mean,
have I
dated younger guys? Yeah, I actually get along better.
Not as young as the person that probably sent that.
No, he's about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
After this 29. Episode, you need to tell me who asked for that dancing video.
What do you call a dog without legs?
What do you call it?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
It doesn't have the answer there?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
We're supposed to guess, I guess.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
Sammy, what do you call a dog without legs? Sammy would know.
I was gonna say, Susan, look.
No.
Me neither. I'm at a loss.
I was not gonna say that out loud. On
Is
podcast.
it ground beef or no,
That's a cow with no legs. I don't know what you call a dog with no legs.
Let's see.
A taco.
Okay, so where do you find a dog with no
Is
legs?
that what you call?
Right where you left him.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
This one I can't read. It's a little bit.
Just show it to me. I just want to see it.
Wait, what does it say? What is this question?
Oh, you could read that.
Why did Hitler kill himself?
Oh my god.
Is that supposed to be a joke too, or is that like
It's
just a
joke.
stupid
No,
question?
it's a joke.
Oh, so that
Is
has
the
a
answer
punchline.
attached?
Yeah. No, I know the answer though.
Don't ask me because I
Oh,
said.
I
Don't ask me because I said
remember.
Paris was in the United Kingdom. So.
Okay,
Paris,
if you know the
France.
answer to that one, just say it out loud at home. Is there any more?
It's because he saw his gas bill.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't think you would say that.
Can we just say really quickly, and then obviously we're gonna get off. Was it the last podcast that we were talking about my trip to San Francisco, and I was telling you guys about
I know where she's going with this.
I was telling you guys about taking the tour of what is it called? Alcatraz. And
Yeah, we weren't recording.
She goes, isn't that where all the Jewish people got sent?
Yeah, she's thinking of Auschwitz. Yeah, we weren't recording when we talked about that. That's funny.
Bruh.
Oh
I'm
man,
telling y'all, this dumbass shit that come out of my mouth, y'all won't even believe it's for real.
that is
Why
hilarious.
does my butt itch sometimes?
Because you're dirty.
Cause Terry, and you need to wash
Sammy
that
left
ass.
And so yeah, we will show Millie's dancing video. But again, thank
No,
you guys.
y'all want to see this dance video? Let's get this to 10K likes. Y'all can see it.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Like I said at the very beginning, we did change the name. It's Real, Raw, and Random. It just rolls off the tongue so much easier. But it's also very, very obviously realistic in terms of what we're doing. We are on all social media platforms at this point: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're gonna start putting out those reels and those shorts, and really coming at you guys a lot more. We want you guys to get on here, interact, comment. For those of you who've commented, thank you so much. Somebody commented on last week saying like they appreciate what we do.
Yeah, and we make their day.
And so
that was nice.
We appreciate you, and we appreciate you watching what we're doing and listening to us, and yeah, we love all of you guys, and so much love. God bless. And
yeah, thank you guys for watching on YouTube. If you're listening, thank you guys for tuning on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. You know, like Susan said, she basically summed it up for us. Thanks for all the love and support, and you know, just comment, you know, ask us any questions, or just give us any feedback, or just tell us, you know, that we made your day. You know, always makes my day.
Yes, what they said. We're done. We're out of here.
out.
Goodbye.